doing? Oh, right, yeah. Hi, this is James Virtual coming to you from another Smartcar Coffee Confidential, and today's guest is Clinton Howell. Clinton, say hi.
Hello.
All right, say hello, whichever you wish. Now, today it's really, really warm and sunny, so we have foregone the coffee, and we have gone for, where are we? Pure Love in downtown Burlington. They're getting a free shout out. Cheers. So what do you get, like pureed frog?
It's like, I think it might have a bit of frog in there, some spinach and some kale and something like that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a roll, and Clinton's going to tell me more about his business, because if you know anything about me, you know I like tech. Rumor has it, so do you. So let's start off with the obvious ones. I told everybody your name.
Yep.
What's the name of your company?
Okay, so that's a very good question.
Okay, I like good questions.
So I'm a lifestyle technology consultant. Ooh. And so technically I'm self-employed.
Yep.
But I have a contract as an independent sales consultant for design electronics.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently I'm acting as the director of custom residential sales and marketing for design electronics. And so what that means essentially is I meet with homeowners who are looking to build or renovate their homes, who want to include home entertainment technologies or home automation, things like that. And I've been at this for close to 25 years.
So you're getting good at it then.
Starting to understand what I'm doing.
Starting to get cool, yeah.
Actually, it's changing all the time, so you really need to relearn everything.
True.
Every year you got to relearn everything again.
Yeah. So you're making houses funner, for want of a better term. You're adding. Like, how intelligent can you make a house?
They can get pretty smart. I mean, my general rule of thumb though is to focus on what's practical, because the more features and gadgets you build into the house, I mean, you're asking for trouble.
Failure. Yeah.
And especially when the houses get bigger. So, I mean, the typical areas that we suggest incorporating some technology is music. Of course, everyone loves music. Yep. Build in music around the house.
Now, do I dare ask? Now, I know it's probably a loaded question, but I'm not even sure it's a fair question to say what would be an average price, but can you give me an idea of like ballpark and tell me what sort of things would be included with something like that, or is that?
Yeah, I can give you some ideas.
Okay.
So the price varies a great deal based on the size of the system, obviously, right? So,
yeah, of course.
So it's kind of on a zone by zone basis. I mean, well, let's take one of the popular audio systems, the Sonos.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Sonos, I mean, if you take a pair of ceiling speakers, and let's say that they're, $600 arbitrarily. Yeah. And you take a Sonos Connect amplifier. Yep. Which is like another $600. Yeah. Right? So you basically have $1,200 for that zone. Yeah. Right? So if you have 6 zones, times $1,200, right? Straight. Right, and then you get into the wiring, installation of it. Obviously, there's some labor costs and things. Yeah. But that's kind of how it builds. And the same with security. Maybe a camera is $500. Yeah. And you have 10 of them, so there's $5,000 for the cameras. And then you've got a central network video recorder. Maybe that's like $1,000. So it all kind of it adds. It builds up with the zones, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Oh, geez, yeah. No, that's interesting. So, okay. Well, prior to doing this, how did you get into this? Like, what was it? I mean, did you wake up one day and go, well, I think that's what I want to do?
Well, that's a good question. So I'm an audio lover.
Okay.
And actually, when I was a kid, my dad used to be an electronics distributor. Ah. So I used to work in the warehouse at his company. And so that's kind of how I got exposed to the audio. And I was also, I played in bands and things like that. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got into music and loving audio, quality audio systems. Yep. And so all through university, I was buying audio systems, enjoying them for a few months, and then I'd flip them and go onto my next system. So,
of course, well, all your friends knew you were an audiophile, right. So anything they buy from you, they're like, "This is gonna be good."
So by the time I finished university, just for fun, I added up all the receipts of all the stuff that I had bought and sold. It was over $100,000 worth of stuff. Woo!
Jeez.
And it wasn't until a few years after that. It was actually in 1995 when I decided that I wanted to get into this industry full time, and I went down to Lucasfilm and did the training down at the ranch down there, the THX ranch, and I got to meet some of the key sound engineers and see the theater and really take it all in down there, and I got some important training, and that's really helped me to get started. So just kind of kept growing and growing and growing to the point where we ended up getting we moved houses. The first step was we moved to a much bigger house.
Yep.
So I had a small house in Hamilton initially near McMaster. Then we moved from there to Waterdown and built a 2,000 square foot bungalow and a custom home.
Nice.
And we put a killer home theater in there, about a $200,000 home theater.
That's probably
The big CRT projector, and the whole room was all decked out with Art Deco and beautiful Empire State Building, gold leaf entrance doors, and it was actually it worked out so well that that theater actually made it onto the cover of Audio Video Interiors magazine.
Wow, that's impressive.
Which was kind of like a dream come true, because it's something that was the Bible back then.
Yes.
And so we got the cover of that, and business kind of just exploded. So we ended up selling. Howell & Associates ended up getting acquired by Best Buy. That was back in like 2005.
Oh, that must have been awful.
It was interesting. It was good. It was good financially.
It was interesting.
It was interesting. It was so different. Like, I mean, I'm glad that if I had the opportunity. I mean, to be honest, it was good financially, but it was very different. I mean, going from a homegrown entrepreneurial background to now being part of this monster corporation.
Different, huh?
Very different, and I learned a lot. I mean, a big part of what I had to do, like initially, the idea was to sort of look into doing a whole store within a store thing up here, like they did in the U.S. with Magnolia.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it was concluded that the stores weren't large enough really to do that, and so their vision changed. But in the meantime, I helped them to launch Connect Pro for Future Shop. So I was one of the guys consulting on the whole installation service. So by the time that was done, there was 150 trucks got rolled out for Future Shop. And now, of course, Future Shop's not around anymore.
Is that your fault?
It's my fault.
His fault. I used to like Future Shop.
100% my fault.
Yeah, it's all on you.
But then in 2008, when the whole world took a tank,
God, do I remember that?
Essentially, Best Buy decided what they do in big companies, public companies like that, is they refocus on their core. So, I mean, our company was no different than any company in 2008. We did terrible.
Yeah.
And so they
refocused on their core.
That's it.
That's code for excise.
So at that time, I bought back all the assets from the business from them.
Oh.
And they relaunched as H2 Systems, which I
Howell 2.
You got it.
Howell version 2.
H2 Systems. So that was in like 2009, and I've been doing that basically up until I merged with Design Electronics in terms of the current arrangement. And I decided that I wanted to refocus just on working with clients and on the system designs and the consulting side, and I didn't want to have a whole bunch of staff and facilities and things anymore. And so just kind of an evolution in my career. And at the same time as I was doing that, the thought I wanted to get into real estate as well, which is how that sort of came about, right? So basically, because I no longer had to run the store and have all the staff and do all these things,
on your hands.
I had more time to be able to consult on the audio, video, smart home stuff, and also now on real estate. So I've been doing that for the past 3 years. Yeah.
Right now, what do you do for fun?
Watch movies. Just kidding.
Me too, actually. I watch loads of movies. I've got 400 DVDs.
Okay, what do I do for fun? Basically, I paint. I'm an artist.
What's your what's your medium? What do you choose?
I like to create abstract paintings and
acrylic?
using acrylic, and I like large canvases are my favorite.
Interesting. Abstract acrylic on large canvas. How large? What are we talking?
Typically, 4 feet by 5 feet. But
you're using big brushes then.
Recently, I finished a canvas which is even bigger than that. It was about 6 feet by 7 feet, and a custom-sized canvas. Do
you have a particular favorite color? I used to love yellow ochre.
Yellow?
Burnt umber. I'm an art student.
You're an art. Oh, favorite color. Actually, I really like red.
Yeah.
Cadmium red.
Yes.
Medium hue.
Yes, I'm familiar. You don't want to know about me, do you?
I sure do.
Well, no, these guys don't. They're like, tell me more about him.
Yeah, so in terms of my favorite tools are the palette knives.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you mix like sand or any other medium in with the acrylic to get what's it called? Gesso?
I've done some limited experimenting with that, but mostly I just focus on the paints and just different ways of applying it and mixing the colors. And
do you sell it? Do you sell your work?
Not professionally, but I've had some clients want to buy some of my work, so I have sold a few pieces, but I don't have pieces in galleries and things like that. But, you never know. Maybe down the road.
I was going to say,
maybe
have you ever
down
heard of Etsy? You're trying to ship that 6 feet by what? Yeah.
I tend to paint. When I paint a piece,
yeah.
I usually like it.
Oh, well, you want to keep it.
Exactly. But what's interesting, actually, what's happened is because I keep painting, I only have so many walls. I don't have enough walls, right? So I've got a pretty good collection of paintings. I've probably got a dozen or so paintings that don't have a wall right now.
You should loan them to your friends.
Well, you know what I do? I use them for staging and real estate.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of handy.
Original art.
Original art. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, you said there was something else you wanted to tell me about the Design Electronics?
Design Electronics, yeah. Well, I just wanted to mention, basically, these guys are, it's a very interesting company, and they're the real key differentiating factor about these guys, and one of the reasons that I decided to do some partnering with them,
yep.
is that they take an engineered approach. You know, basically, it comes from a commercial background, but an engineered approach to all the systems, even if it's a small residential system, which means that the systems are getting drawn in CAD with a proper wiring diagram flow. So the technicians are going with a real schematic in hand to install the system, and then that also gives you a lot of reliability.
Makes sense.
Very high quality install, but also gives our service team the ability to know exactly what was done. With the inputs, the outputs, the programming of the remote control, all these things are predicted and designed initially up front, so that everything's very smooth and serviceable later, which is something that's very unique in especially the residential side of the business. Very few companies are doing that.
Your electricians actually use different colored wires.
Different colors.
Cut the red one.
Labeled,
they're all red.
Everything's followed from the diagrams.
Oh wow, that's neat.
We've got actual so audio visual, smart home. Basically, it's actually a team of engineers and programmers at Design Electronics because of the huge commercial work that they do. And this same team of talented people are leveraged in the residential side. So it's very unique in terms of the quality and the complexity that the systems can go into. And I wanted to mention that because that's one of the real key differences about.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So how would people get in touch with you, and what would you like people to take away from this interview today? What's the takeaway, I guess?
Takeaway? Well, I guess if you're thinking audio, visual, or smart home, to give Clint and Howell a call.
Talking about yourself in the third person. I love it.
At the same time, if you're looking at buying or selling property, give Clint and Howell a call. But anyway, that's just me. I'm really down to earth when it comes to this stuff, and I really love people. I love helping, and my goals are to just make as many people happy as I can and do a great job. So. And it's been a pleasure meeting you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, where'd you say your car was?
It's 2 up here. I think we're here.
Oh wow! I'm actually pulled into the right spot. Damn, that was fortuitous. Had to work that one in today. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. I hope we covered some of the things you wanted to share with the viewers. Now, they can get hold of you by name. So what is there? There's a website they can get you at?
Yeah. So basically, on the audio video smart home side, there's smarthomesbydesign.net.
Okay.
On the real estate side, clintonhowell.ca.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. You're free to go.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Next 12 or right here?
Smoothie bar. Thanks, Clinton.
Well, Green Warrior is my favorite. We do have a new studio one. It's pretty popular right now. The Green Warrior show.
What is it?
Green stuff.